Demis Hellen here, and welcome back to the channel. We are going to be doing some short form videos in the coming weeks just to see how they go, where there's no big intro, no face intro and all that sort of stuff, so I can get more information to you quickly, but we're still going to do those other videos, so don't worry about the format of the channel. It's going to stay the same. So we're going to address an issue that I come across pretty much daily in the emails that I receive and the comments that I see on YouTube, and that is, why does my synth sound like this? It sounds like it's got a flanger on the front end of the sound and it's all just hitting at the same time. There's no width, there's no depth to the sound, and a lot of synths will help you avoid that issue. But if you don't know what you're tweaking and you don't fully understand what you're tweaking, you're going to run into this issue and you're not going to know how to rectify it unless you sort of like undo what you did immediately at that point. So I'm going to show you what I've done here. There's a lot of stuff on screen, but we are just going to focus on oscillator 1. This is the only one active, so none of these are working because these dials are down. We've got the X comp turned up a little bit in the volume just to make it so you can hear the sound on the video. And we've tweaked the phase position here. So the phase is now locked into a position where it's going to choose that same point where that orange line is, no matter what. 7 voices all hitting at the same time, and we're going to get a flange effect. And that's not always desirable. It depends on what you're trying to do, but in this case, it's not desirable. Trance needs to be nice and wide. It needs to be floaty. It needs to have power. It's all those sort of like fine combinations of everything mixed in. So the first thing here is the phase position. What does that do? That locks in the phase position. So it's 360 degrees phase, so all the way round. But if you look at that, it's just picking a spot on the waveform. So this is 180 degrees, this is 0, this is 360. We're not going to get into the great details of why it's that, but we can see we can lock it in and it will hit at the same time every time. Great for basses, great for effects and things like that, where you want everything to be the same every time the key is pressed. With a lead, we want some randomization. So Inspire, phase at 0, where it is at default, is randomized. So it'll pick a different spot every time. So just have a listen to this when I move this back to 0. We get width out of the sound. And what that means is those 7 voices that I've chosen on the unison mode can operate anywhere on this waveform. So they can choose where they want to start at random, and it will stop that phase issue happening, because if we choose where to lock them in, all 7 voices are hitting at exactly the same spot and they're trying to cancel each other out because they're all hitting at the same time. You get that phasing sound to your sound, and sometimes it's desirable depending on what you're trying to do, but in most cases we want it to be like this. And then all we need to do is add some width to the sound, and we've got a desirable sound. As you listen in my live stream, you can check that out, link on the screen now. In that live video, I showed you what I was doing when I was doing some sound design here, and I tend to do this on the envelopes a lot, depending on the sound that we're creating, where this sustain goes. But the decay rate, nice and fast, will give a nice little bit of punch to the start of your sound design, giving you more room to allow that synth to cut through the mix. So have a look at the live stream if you want to see a little bit more on that, how I've done that. And then sometimes I'll bring the release up just to give it a little bit of breathability. And then once you've got to that stage, you can start adding all of your effects in and making it sound wonderful. Okay, so here we are in a different synth. I'm going to show you a couple of different ones in this video. We've got the same setup now. We've got a saw wave with 7 voices, 20% detune, and then we have 0% on the phase randomization. So it's now locked in to 180 degrees, which is straight down the middle. All 7 voices are going to be at the same time. The more random we increase this, natural sound. We get a different sound from Vital, that's another video topic altogether, but you can hear that sounds different to Spire just straight off the bat with the default settings. And finally, we're going to take a look at Retrologue. This is a Cubase only synth, but we can see the same thing happening here. They are trying to help you avoid hitting that territory of the phase positions, but understanding where they are. And all synths are very, very similar to each other. So I'm going to choose the multi-type, which is multiple voices. And I'm just going to type 7 into the voices. And you can see straight away we get a nice Supersaw. But what we can do here is on the phase section, we can choose this to fixed. And we hit that problem. So it can happen from time to time. And what might be happening is if you've got a scroll wheel on your mouse, you might be scrolling through the different types. It's easily done. So just understanding when you hear that, you can go, that is the oscillator that's causing that problem. I can jump back, phase, we've changed it to random phase, or we've changed it to fixed phase, whatever it might be. That is going to be massively helpful to you as a sound designer and a producer. Because if you're loading this preset up, say you've bought this off my website and you go to load it in, and for some reason it sounds like what I've just shown you with the fixed phase position, you've scrolled somewhere, I haven't saved it like that, and you might just think, why does it keep doing that to me? Understanding what's happening will show you where your accidental clicks are. So that's just a little quick video to explain how we can get that bit of width and how we can avoid that phasing issue. There are many uses for that. So if you want to see the use case videos of why we'd have a fixed phase position on those, let me know and I'll show you some sound design options. But other than that, let me know what you thought of the video and I will see you all in the next one. Take care.